Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a wonderful day today and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be checking out the new Tula Skincare Radiant Skin Brightening Serum Skin Tint. So we're going to be doing an oily skin wear test on this. We're going to jump right in and play around with this, and I'll give you guys my first impression. And then I'm going to try to wear this for about 8 hours today, and then at the end of the video I will let you know if I think y'all should try this out for yourselves. So let's jump right into it. Okay, I'm just going to shake the bottle up a little bit just to make sure that all the ingredients are kind of like meshing in very nicely together. So let's start off with a swatch. This is the shade 22 Tan Cool. So that's what the shade looks like, and I can tell that this is going to be a really nice shade for me. Maybe just a smidge too light, but I think I can definitely work with this. This is a skin tint, so it's most likely going to give us no more than like medium coverage, so I can kind of offset it with some other stuff if it is too light, but I think that this will be a really good shade. So let's start with applying it directly to the face and see what we're working with. So I usually don't wear primer. I just kind of started recently using the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm powder as a primer, but I don't like to test out new complexion products with primers. I like to wear them on their own for the first time, so I just have on my skincare for right now. So I'm just blending this out like I normally would. I think I'm getting good coverage right off the bat. It's supposed to be radiant too, and I'm definitely seeing some radiance. It might settle down in a little bit, but it's definitely like a glowy type of product. So it's not giving me full coverage, but I did get more coverage than I was expecting, and it blended out really fast, really nicely too. So let's stop right there before I move on to the other side. So this is about one layer, let's say like one pump of the product versus no product over here. So what are your first impressions? It's a really good shade match. I'm glad I got this because I kept going back and forth between this one and I think Tan 24, I think. But this one is like a perfect shade match. So I know most of you don't have my same undertone. I do have a cool pink undertone, but you can still kind of use me as a reference. You might just want to get like the same like shade but in a different undertone, if that makes sense. But this is like a perfect match for me. So I really like the way that blended out, and I think it gave me medium coverage right off the bat. I was expecting lighter coverage and maybe it could build up to medium, but I feel like this is a nice medium coverage. So I'm going to put some on the other side while I give y'all some more information about the product, and then we'll go back and see if we can build it up and get any more coverage than this. So the full name of the product is the Tula Radiant Skin Brightening Serum Skin Tint Sunscreen SPF 30. This helps brighten the skin, it helps to moisturize and condition the skin barrier, it helps to even the skin tone and improve the look of fine lines and wrinkles. It also protects against blue light and pollution, and it's supposed to be a buildable light to medium coverage, available in 30 shades, and it retails for $40. Some of the key ingredients in here are hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and collagen. Also SX Pro Complex, which helps improve the skin smoothness and maintain skin balance, and Rainbow Sea Bright Elixir, which is what protects against blue light and pollution. So here is what one layer of the product looks like. Now remember, I applied this side like a couple minutes ago, and this one is freshly applied, and to me they look the same. I feel like I'm still getting the same level of radiance over here as I am over on the freshly applied side. So this one definitely has like a radiance to it. So I am going to tone it down a little bit when I set the makeup, but it definitely has a radiant finish. So let's go ahead and see if we can build it up anymore. I do think I'm already getting a buildable coverage. It's supposed to be light to medium buildable, and I feel like I got more coverage than I was expecting. So let's just see if we can get any more coverage out of this, but I do think the amount of coverage that I got so far is good, but let's just see what we get. So I always test buildability like right in this area where I have more scarring from like breakouts and whatnot. So I would say slightly buildable. Like I'm definitely still seeing some stuff, but I mean, it's definitely not going to give you like a full coverage, but I do feel like that extra product did give me just a little bit more coverage. And I guess perhaps the radiance does kind of settle just a little bit, because now this side of my face is looking a little bit more radiant to me than over here, but it's definitely like, even when it sets, it's still going to be like a really radiant finish. So let me put some more over here just so that we are even. I feel like all the foundations that I've tried so far this year have been really good. So I'm hoping that I get yet another good wear test today, because I like this so far. Now remember, I have oily skin, so that's going to be like the real test, because I'm already looking quite glowy. But I can already tell if you have like normal to dry skin, you would probably really like this. Okay, I would say at most you're going to get a medium coverage from this, but a really nice medium coverage. So I'm going to put my concealer on and I'll let the foundation sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. We'll see what that's looking like, and then I'll show you how I'm going to set it with powder, and then we will start our wear test. So I'll be right back. Okay, the concealer is on with a little bit of powder on the under eye area. So the foundation has been sitting for, it's been about like 5 minutes, and this is definitely a radiant finish. Like, you can see the shine on my forehead and my nose. Right up in here, the shine got covered up just a little bit because of the concealer, but I don't have any powder right along here. I have powder like just on the immediate under eye area, and you can really see like the glow coming through with this. So definitely a radiant finish, but I think it looks really nice so far. So far, this is making me think that it's going to be a nice complexion product for the winter time, even for people with oily skin. So I want to quickly show you how I'm going to set it in place, and I'm curious to see if I'm still going to see a nice glow through my powder. So I'm using my Kosas powder, the one that I always use to set my foundations, in the shade Pillowy, and I can't find the brush that I have been using lately to set my face, so I'm going to use this one. This is the one I used to use all the time. So we'll do a side by side. So let me just set one side first. Okay, so I do think that that was a good amount of powder. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to definitely set it. And I still think I'm seeing a nice glow. So the glow did die down a little bit, and that's to be expected with a powder, but I still feel like I'm getting a good amount of glow, especially like in those high points of the face. So definitely a radiant finish. Let me go ahead and set the other side. Okay, so this is what it looks like, all nice and set, even if you went in with a more mattifying powder. So one of my other powders that I use to set quite often is my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. As you can see, I really hit pan on this one. Even if you want more of like a mattifying finish with this, I still feel like you're gonna get a nice like healthy looking glow under this. So next time I try this, I will try it with the NYX powder, but this is definitely a radiant finish. I really like it so far. So my first impression is so far so good. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup off camera. I will show y'all what that looks like, and then we will start our wear test. So this is our look for today. So I always put everything that I'm wearing in the description box in case you are interested in that. So I really like this foundation so far. I do have to say I'm kind of not sure how the wear test is going to go, because I have oily skin and this is already quite a radiant finish. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited, but I really like it so far. So let's jump right into our wear test. I'm shooting for 8 hours, and I'm going to check in once or twice during the day. So it is 7:40 in the morning. So I will see y'all around maybe 11 or 12 o'clock, and we'll take it from there. And then at the end of the video, I will let y'all know if I think y'all should try out this new skin tint. So I will see y'all a little bit later on. Okay, so it's 11:30, so we're about halfway through the wear test. It's been almost 4 hours, and I am definitely more shiny than I was when we started this morning, but I don't think it looks horrible considering my skin type with this type of product. So I'm going to refresh the makeup now, but I'm going to use my NYX powder, the one that I talked about earlier. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to see if it wears any better for the rest of the wear test. So I'm just using a smaller brush just so that I can kind of pinpoint certain areas. I want to get like on the sides of my nose, and also my forehead, basically my T-zone area. And it should wear better with this. So we'll see. And it's probably, the next time I try this, I'm going to try it with the Danessa Myricks primer thingy underneath it. That'll probably make it wear better too. But I just want to see how it wears for the rest of the day with this product on, only because I was looking very shiny at 4 hours in. Okay, so I think the makeup looks a lot better with this powder on, and I'm still getting like a little glow like in certain areas, so I think we have a nice balance. So I'm gonna wear this for another 4 hours and we'll see what we're looking like, and then I will give y'all my final thoughts at the end of the video. Okay, I'm back with my last check-in and my final thoughts. So it's a little after 2:30 in the afternoon, so it's only been about 3 hours since the check-in midday. I was gonna stretch this for a full 8 hours, but I am going to end the wear test here because, like I said, it's only been 3 hours, and I do feel like my face is back to looking exactly how it looked before I set the foundation with a mattifying powder. So it's not so much that this doesn't wear well on my oily skin. I mean, I think it's wearing basically as expected. So I mean, it is a radiant skin tint, and when you pair that with oily skin, this is usually the result. So just remember that I did not put on a primer underneath because I like to test out complexion products initially on their own without any assistance from a primer, just to see how it's going to operate on its own on my skin type. However, since I did go in and reset it with a mattifying powder, I do feel like that should have allowed the foundation to wear just a little bit better, and in this case it didn't. I still got shiny only after a couple of hours of doing that. So I think my final thoughts on this, especially for those of us with oily skin, I do want to try this again. I'm going to try it with the Danessa Myricks primer underneath it, because if you have never tried that before, that does a really good job at controlling oil. So I am interested to see how this would wear with the primer underneath and maybe with the NYX powder on top of it again. So I am going to revisit this, but it's not going to be a go-to for me for at least for this time of the year. I may revisit it again in the winter time. So if you have normal to dry skin, I would say definitely try this out. If you have oily skin, if you usually wear a primer, especially a mattifying primer, this might be worth trying out. It's an okay product, but it's not going to be like one of my go-to products, especially for the summertime. So I think those are my final thoughts on this new Tula skincare. So I hope that y'all liked the video today. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.